Understanding the weapons coming to Warzone from Black Ops 6 is the first step to making sure you don't waste time selecting weapons that are going to be absolutely useless on the day one integration for Black Ops into Warzone. Today we are covering the SMGs and what to expect out of the Black Ops weapons as they hit the Warzone world. So I've gone through here and I've got some numbers here for you. This is of course the base versions of the numbers, and they can be changed as the weapons get released into the wild. But knowing where they sit to begin with is also going to give us an idea of where they're most likely going to sit by the time that they release. So let's start looking at some numbers here. Up first is the 100 HP information, and that is for the new weapons in Black Ops. The C9 sits at a 246 on its TTK, Compact 92, 220, KSV, 225. The Jackal is at 264, which I think I misspelled there, but that's okay. I'm not a spelling guy. I'm here for numbers. The PP919, aka the Bullfrog, aka the PP, whatever it's called. It's been in every Warzone iteration so far, and it's back again at 288, and the Tonto 22 at 272. If we buff that up to 300, you'll see here at the C9 at 738, the Compact 92 at 660, the KSV at 675, the Jackal at 792, PP19 at the 864, and the Tonto 22 at 816. Comparing those to the Warzone numbers, we see that most of these sit a little bit outside of what we would consider viable. The FJX Horus is sitting at 610, the Lightman Shroud at 607, the Rival 9 at 660, Static HV, which is the meta choice right now, the 657, the Striker is at 651, and that is the 45 cal, not the 9, and then the Superi 46 sitting at 630. So what we can really see out of all this is realistically the only ones that are sitting in the viable range right now off of these base values is the Compact 92 and the KSV. The Compact 92 at 660, the KSV at 675. These are all done at the up to 8 meter mark. So this is considered the prime SMG range for anywhere inside of the game. It's roughly 0 to 8 meters, and that's going to really determine what is considered a viable SMG inside of Warzone. Anything, once you start getting past that, obviously the numbers drop off dramatically. Weapons like the Tonto, the Jackal, and the C9 are all sitting a little bit better on the ranges. We can go in here and we can see where those all fit. Once you get in here, you can go and pull up the numbers, and you'll see a little bit on these ranges. So up first, we see the C9 is effective out to 17 meters, which means the damage drop-off is 17 meters. That's pretty good for all of the SMGs, even in Warzone. Most of them actually drop off in Warzone at about 12 to 13 meters. So to see the C9 continues this out to 17 meters is actually a pretty good view for us, because that means that these SMGs are going to be a little bit more viable at the range. Then we're going to go over here to the KSV. You're going to see a very similar thing. This one is dropping off at 10 meters. This is a little bit more stereotypical for what is an SMG inside of Warzone as well. So this one is going to be your breacher kind of build, opposed to the C9, which is going to be more of a sniper support style if you're looking for that style SMG with it as well. When you get to the Tonto, you're looking at a 6.3 meter drop off, making this one is a lot less reliable. And honestly, I think it's going to be a bit of a suffering when you take this one into the SMGs into Warzone, because the damage drops off to 22 at 27 meters, but the slow rate of fire means that this is going to be heavily punished for running inside of Warzone if you're not running something like the damage range barrel, the long barrel, or the reinforced barrel, which pushes these between 8.3 and 7.3. You're really going to have to run the long barrel to get the most out of the Tonto, and I imagine that's really what's going to be best for you. Again, with the KSV, if you take the long barrel, you're going to get this one out to 15 meters. It's a little bit better, but the KSV really, really likes the headshot barrel. That extra 5 damage on there makes a difference, especially in this rate of fire. But if you're not, you can run the long barrel, extend that range by quite a bit. 5 meters is a lot when it comes to an SMG. And then when we get to the PP19, you're going to be seeing this one is sitting at 16.5 meters, and this is, of course, with a long barrel on it as well, or without the long barrel on it as well. This one goes all the way out to 20 meters. Again, very reliable when it starts looking at stuff like that. Running the long barrel in combination with rapid fire is going to make the PP19 actually a pretty viable sniper support, and the fact that it has itself a extended mag, a massive extended mag too. It's 85 rounds, making this one probably one of the premier sniper supports inside of the Black Ops selections, outside of something like the AS Val or the C9 as well. The Jackal has been doing pretty fine for itself after it's been nerfed, actually quite a few different times. This one has an 18.3 meter, and it's still doing 27 damage out to that one to the chest, making it pretty reliable. The slow rate of fire, though, in combination with a sharp drop off at the 18 meters from 27 to 15 over that, it starts to really suffer. This one is probably going to be one of the more mediocre weapons inside of Warzone. And then when we drop in here into the compact 92, this one is also going to suffer a bit at range. This one is up with the CHF barrel. If we go to the long barrel, we see this one hit at 11.9, not very far. And of course, if we go back and we compare those numbers as well, you'll see pretty much the compact and the KSV are both of our fastest ones with our shortest ranges. Makes sense. Whereas the PB19 and the Jackal have some of the PB19 and the C9 have some of the longer ranges, and then they sit a little bit further out. So realistically, right now, based off the information we have, if you had to only have 2 SMGs leveled by the time you get into Warzone, I would say the 2 that you would probably want to look at is the compact 92 and the C9. The compact 92 because it just has the best TTK out of all of the SMGs inside of Black Ops coming to Warzone, and I think it's going to be the most competitive versus the other choices that are currently meta inside of Warzone as far as Room Breacher that still sticks to the Black Ops weapons. And then the C9 I think is going to be one of those weapons that's going to be able to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more consistent over range. It's got pretty good iron sights, and it's very reminiscent of basically the Lackman sub. And if you're going to run if you're not going to run the Lackman Shroud, which is basically another MP5, the C9 is just kind of another attempt at doing that. This one is of course going to have pretty good range. The Lackman Shroud just does it at everything. If it wasn't for the fact that the Lackman Decimator didn't have any barrel attachments to help control recoil, I would say the Lackman Shroud wins hands down all the time. But with the Lackman Shroud's Jack Decimator, it does have a little bit more recoil than what I think the C9 is going to come into the game with. So you could hit or miss on either one of them. I think the C9 will be a good shout, and I think that the compact 92 is your other best option. Now, of course, these are just, again, with our raw numbers that we have right here. Things can change as Warzone releases, so we're obviously going to continue looking at these things and considering what is and isn't really working out, and as the numbers come to us, we'll go through and make adjustments. But these are my early predictions for what I think are going to be your best SMG options inside of Warzone, and we'll see how effective we are at these guessing games. I'm usually pretty on point. I imagine that the 2 new SMGs that we're going to get in the Battle Pass are going to probably be better than these, but they will probably also take a little while to level up. Now, we do only get one of those in season immediately. The other ones come at later dates during events, so we're only going to really be seeing the one SMG coming with Season 1 that will probably take over what will be the compacts range, because it is a fast-firing SMG. So still consider maybe leveling the C9 or the PP19 if you're looking for a medium to long-range SMG. We will continue breaking down these weapons as we go through. Up next, I think we're going to cover the marksman rifles, which are going to either make or break the way that the Warzone meta functions from the Black Ops side. So if you're looking forward to that, make sure you drop a sub in the channel so that way you can find your way back when we cover the marksman rifles. If you got some ideas that you want to see brought to life, let me know down below. I'd love to cover some information if there's some things that you really just need help with, or some things that you're interested in my opinion on. I'm happy to be here and happy to help you. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.